Hello again, my beautiful people and Jamaican youth in the building once again. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Concacaf Nations League game between Jamaica and Honduras coming up Friday, September 8th in Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica at 9 p.m. Eastern, I think 8 p.m. Jamaica time. Just going to be talking about that interesting game coming up. As you know, the Nations League have a new format, and this Nations League have a dual purpose. For one, you can win the Nations League, which is pretty much giving you bragging rights for the region, and the other part to the Nations League is that you can qualify for the Copa America, which will be played in the United States in 2024. And Jamaica wants to be a part of that. We as Jamaican fans, we want Jamaica to be a part of that. So it's very important how this Nations League goes. And if you check my previous video, we talked about the lineups or the squad that was announced by Coach Jaime Algrimson. He called up all the top players, and it shows that he's taking this game very seriously and taking this Nations League very seriously, because we need to qualify for the Copa America and keep building into World Cup qualifying, which also will be coming up next year. So we want to talk about it. We want to get into it quite shortly. But before we do that, just want to ask you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, as this helps to grow the channel. And if you have not done so as yet, please hit the like button, as it helps to send the video out to more eyes so that more people like you can see this channel. So please take a moment to hit the like or subscribe button. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. So I'm going to break down this Jamaica versus Honduras Nations League game in 5 points that I'm going to talk about, to pretty much say whatever it is that I want to say about this game. So Jamaica versus Honduras, if you have been watching, Jamaica play over the recent past, you'd have seen Jamaica has had some bit of good results against Honduras. So based on what I could dig up about Jamaica has beaten Honduras in the last 4 games that we have played Honduras. Last 4 games Jamaica played Honduras, we won. So, and that dates back to 2017, a friendly international. In 2019 in the Concacaf Gold Cup, Jamaica also won, and then more recently the World Cup qualifying campaign that led to the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Jamaica, we played Honduras 2 times and we beat them both home and away. So just to give you a little background, we beat Honduras 1-0 away to 1-0 away or at home to Honduras in a friendly international in 2017. We beat Honduras 3-2 in the 2019 Gold Cup. Then we beat Honduras away in the World Cup qualifying campaign in Honduras. And then we also beat Honduras 2-1 at home in the World Cup qualifying campaign leading up to the Qatar World Cup. So 4-0 Jamaica. It's a good record. It's a good look for us. And one could argue that those teams were weaker teams. The Jamaica team was a weaker team to the proper players we have now, and arguably even the coach we have right now. So we're still looking to do well, but at the same time, Honduras team is not the same either. Some changes have been made, which we'll talk about that in a second. So that's my first point. Jamaica has a good record against Honduras, at least in the last 4 games that we have played. So I'm looking for a good result against Honduras from Jamaica, especially since we're playing them at home. My second point is I pretty much kind of expect a typical Central American style approach from Honduras, which will be heavy ball possession, attacking on the flanks, possibly coming down to the middle, but primarily attacking down the flanks, whipping it across and trying to head towards goal, or trying to get a shot on target to get a goal. However, I think that Jamaica has the quality to repel that. I think this coach probably would have done his homework. He would have watched the Honduras game versus Guatemala. Honduras and Guatemala recently played and to a 0-0 draw, and he would have watched that game and kind of see the type of a play that Honduras, the way Honduras plays. Now, also, if you look in that game, will only tell you more about the coach than the players, because a lot of their players that played in the Gold Cup were not available in that game. So there's only so much you can tell about that game. However, it still will kind of tell you what to expect from Honduras, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the players that played in that Guatemala game will be making the trip to Jamaica to play against Jamaica. But I expect a typical Central American style. Honduras probably will have a lot of possession of the ball. I mean, if you look at the last 4 games that Jamaica played, Honduras, even though Jamaica won those games, Honduras still had majority of possession of the ball. In some of the games, as much as 63% possession of the ball, which means that Jamaica only had 37%. Now, that is a problem, I think. I think now is the time where Jamaica's football has to move past the norm where Central American teams dominate possession over us, because I mean, again, if you look at, I always keep going back to Mexico, that loss that we had against Mexico in the Gold Cup. I mean, if we cannot play those teams, we're not going to be winning any games in the region, or winning any titles in the region. So we cannot allow ourselves to be outpossessed just like that so easily. Because, I hate to say it this way, but, Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador and teams like those, while we can beat those teams, or while we have beaten those teams are pretty much light versions of Mexico. Mexico is going to be a more concentrated version. They're going to be, they're going to possess the ball more than we do, and then they're going to score more than we do. So I hope to see Coach Jaime Hallgrimsson. I want to see what this game brings out to Jamaica in terms of ball possession, because the coach did say that's one of the things that they could have improved on, which is ball possession. We didn't possess the ball very well, and we really need to get to a point where Central American teams are not out possessing us. And when you look at the quality players that we have, I'm going to talk about my predicted starting lineup in a second. But when you look at the type of players we have, I don't see why those teams that don't have the quality players that we have should be out possessing us with the ball. And that is something I kind of have an issue with. Even though we're winning, I still want to see more ball possession. I want to see more ball dominance, so to speak. And not just dominating in terms of winning the game, but dominating in terms of possessing the ball. Whether or not we possess the ball more, I will take the win, don't get me wrong, but I would still love to see a lot more ball possession. But I do expect, as of now, until the coach and the team proves me wrong, I do expect Honduras to possess the ball a little bit more. I expect, them to, as I said, come down the flanks, and whip it in, try and score, or come down the middle. I think it's going to be harder for them to come down the middle because of the personnel I think this coach will start on the field. So I think the flanks are going to be their best bet. But I think Lembikisa is really good at repelling them on that flank. And so they might try to go down their right-hand side a little bit more, where Amari Bell is. But we'll see how that kind of pans out. My third point is that I expect to see Jamaica sit back a little. I mean, that's kind of how we tend to play against Central American teams. But whenever we get the ball, I think we have enough quality in the team to put some good passes together and make some dangerous attacks on Honduras and eventually score. I think Jamaica will put some will score some goals. I will say I am really looking out for that attacking threat from Jamaica. I'm really looking to see an improvement in our offense, because if you think about it, this tournament, we're going to need to score a lot of goals because we cannot control the other group. And in some ways, well, not in some ways, we can't control. There are two teams in our group that we will not play. So because of the fact that we can't control, we have such little control over the other teams based on the fact that we're not playing them. We have to make sure that when we win resoundingly well. And Jamaican fans, you can help them do that too. So I'm throwing that out there just in case I forget. But I don't want to lose my train of thought. So we need to score as many goals. I'm looking to see more of an attacking threat on Jamaica's part. The work of Leon Bailey, Mikel Anthony, Damari Gray, Bobby De Cordova-Reid. I am hoping to see Casey Palmer in this game, and if not in this game, at least the Haiti game. I heard that he made the trip, so I know some of you may have heard that he got injured in a Coventry game. He actually made the trip based on reports that I've read. He actually made the trip to Jamaica. So, even I think he's suffering from a sore knee, but so I'm not sure if the coach will even play him in the first game, but he's there though. So I really want to see Casey Palmer either in this Honduras game or the Haiti game. But we'll come to lineups in a second. I'm really just looking for more of an attacking threat from Jamaica. I expect to see Jamaica to sit back a little, put some passes together when they get the ball, and then put some really good, combinations together to get goals. So I'm looking for that. All right, my fourth point is that Honduras has a new coach, Ronaldo Rivera. Ronaldo Rivera is actually a Colombian coach, and he has a really good coaching acumen. I mean, he has a really good background in Latin America. This is not the first time he's coaching Honduras. He has actually qualified Honduras for the World Cup before, way back in, I think, anywhere between 2007 and 2010, roundabout there. He has qualified Honduras for the World Cup. So he was at the helm of Honduras when Honduras was at their best, because I think that was the last time Honduras qualified for the World Cup. He was at the helm when Honduras was at their best. So this is a good coach. In addition to that, this coach has coached Colombia under 20 in the World Cup. He has coached Ecuador, and he has coached in Brazil. He coached a club team in Brazil. He coached Flamengo. And I think he has coached Chile as well, and he has also coached the Colombian national team, and did well in the World Cup qualifying campaign in CONMEBOL. The only reason why he didn't qualify with Colombia is because they drew too many games. It wasn't because they were losing a lot of games, but he drew a lot of games with Colombia, and that made them unable to go through to the World Cup. But this is a good coach, so we can't take it for granted that because we have beaten Honduras in the past that it's going to just happen like that this time around. Maybe he hasn't been with Honduras long enough to develop much of a chemistry with the players, or to put a quality team together to beat a team like Jamaica, especially at home. And luckily we're only playing them once in this group. But you can never tell. We have to be on our P's and Q's, and we have to start our best team. So that's a very important point, that this Ronaldo Rivera, the new coach of Honduras, is on board now, and that is going to represent a different approach from Honduras. All right, and then my fifth point is I'm going to give you my predicted starting lineup. What is the team that I think this coach will go with? And then I will talk about, if I feel like this team is the best team, or if I would like to see something else. But this is what I think this coach will go with. So I'll put it on the screen there for you to see. For me, I think he will do Andre Blake in goal. Then he will have Dexter Lembikisa over there on the right wing, or right back, sorry. Then Damian Lowe on the right-hand side of the central defense, Ethan Pinnock on the left-hand side of the central defense, and then Amari Bell playing left back. And then in midfield, you'll have Bobby Reed. He will play on the right side, right wing. Joel Latibodere as a defensive midfielder. Kevon Lambert as a defensive midfielder. And he will have Leon Bailey on the left wing. On the left wing. And then up front, I think he will have Mikel Antonio and Demarai Gray. That is what I think this coach will start. If you go back and look at the starting lineup he had against Mexico, this is the team that he used. And this is the player. These are the players that I think is at the forefront of his mind in terms of the players he has for his starting lineups. Now, let's talk about that a little. So, first of all, you see that Ethan Pinnock is back. In the Gold Cup, Ethan Pinnock was not there, but I expect Ethan Pinnock to be there now. He comes in for Deshaun Bernard, I think. I think that's just an obvious switch because Ethan Pinnock is probably one of the best players we have in Jamaica right now. Best Jamaican players. Very high IQ defender. He has to play. I think Damian Lowe does a really good job in defense and presents some type of attacking threat as well whenever there are set pieces. He just scored in his last game against Philadelphia Union recently, a header off a corner kick, I think it was. And he has done it against the USA too. He presents an attacking threat. Dexter Lembikisa, a very solid wing back, has done well for Jamaica in that position before. So I think these players pick themselves. Then in the up front, okay, Leon Bailey. I think Leon Bailey is on really good form this season so far. I'll just make a departure from my naming the team to talk about Leon Bailey. 3 goals in 3 games recently, and then he was substituted on by Unai Emery in the game against who did they play? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. But the game that Aston Villa, the team that Aston Villa, Liverpool, yes. The team that Aston Villa just played was Liverpool yesterday. And Unai Emery substituted him on for Diego Carlos, which was a defender. So he took out Diego Carlos, pushed Konsa back because Konsa was playing almost like right wing back. Pushed back Konsa in the defensive role. Then brought back Matty Cash down into a wing back position and then put Bailey up top. He pretty much switched them around. Put Konsa where Diego Carlos was playing and put Cash where Konsa was playing, and then put in Leon Bailey where Matty Cash was playing. And then, surprise, surprise, Leon Bailey, in my opinion, wasn't playing terribly, but the second half comes around at 65 minutes. And Unai Emery subs off Leon Bailey. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I really highly respect Unai Emery, but that was a nonsense. That was nonsense. Like, first of all, the guy played 3 games and scored 3 goals. So he's high in confidence. He's actually doing well, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, you have to know that if you put somebody on as a substitute, and then you take them back off, that's embarrassing. And then you don't take them off towards the end of the game. You take them off 65 minutes. So what is that? 20 minutes into the second half? I mean, like, I rate Unai Emery highly, but that was not his brightest moment. And I'm not saying that because obviously I'm Jamaican and I like Leon Bailey and I want to see him do well. I'm just saying, look at the facts. Take my Jamaicanness out of it, right? Take the fact that I am a Jamaican and I want Leon Bailey to play. Look at the facts. If you have a player that has been under some pressure and in the last 3 games that you have played this player, he scored 3 goals. And then you come to game number 4, you substitute him onto the field, right? At minute 18 minutes into the game, you put him onto the field and then you let him play the first half, and then a few minutes into the second half, you take him back off the field. How is that not going to be embarrassing? And then, especially considering that he wasn't playing badly, he actually put you saw that cross he put across to John McGinn, who headed it towards goal, and the header just wasn't powerful enough. He had an opportunity, a ball came across, and I guess there was a mix-up between him and Ollie Watkins. He tried to kick the ball, but it didn't go to goal, or it wasn't powerful enough, or what it is. But he made some good passes. He wasn't awful on the pitch. I can understand when you took him off against Newcastle, he looked awful in that game, so I could understand that. But in this particular game, for a player that has been under a lot of pressure, who scored in the last 3 games, what type of confidence are you putting in the player himself if you put him on as a substitute and then you take him back off as a substitute? The message that it sends is that you're singling him out to say you are the problem on the field. And I know, there are some people who might say, oh, well, it might be a tactical, a tactical change, and maybe it's not really that Emery has anything against the player, but he felt like, as Emery said, that, oh, we weren't going to win the game, and he played 90 minutes the last game, so he's pulling him off to rest him. Nonsense. You're a coach and you were a player. You should know that if you substitute on a player and you take him back off, how the player is going to feel. That you have to think about it. And even if you're making a tactical move, you have to think about how that's going to impact the player when you make a move like that. And so Leon Bailey, when he came off the field, he walked on the tunnel. Anyway, I don't want to get into a rant into that, but not a smart move by Unai Emery. And I really like Emery. He's doing an excellent job at Aston Villa, but I didn't like that. I don't think that was his brightest moment, as I put it. Anyway, so Leon Bailey on form, he will do well on the left wing for Jamaica, I think. And then you have Mikel Antonio and Demarai Gray up front. I mean, a lot of people might actually worry about Demarai Gray's form. It's not even 100%. I don't know if it's even a done deal that he's going to Lille in France as yet, because I read a story today where Sean Dyche is actually saying he's expecting Demarai Gray to stay at Everton. So, now, personally, I would love to see Demarai Gray stay at Everton, but, not if he's going to be putting him on the bench. I mean, I don't understand how Sean Dyche puts a player like that on the bench. He's a dangerous player. So, and Demarai Gray wrote something on Instagram talking about, him be feeling disrespected from Sean Dyche. I mean, he didn't call Sean Dyche's name, but we know what he's trying to say. So there's all of that going on. But so these things might be playing on the players' minds when they come. I mean, Leon Bailey and Demarai Gray, when they come to Jamaica, coming camp, what type of mindset they might be going through, who knows? But this is the team that I expect Jaime Algrimson to start. Andre Blake in goal, Dexter Lembikisa, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Amari Bell, Bobby Reid, Joel Latibeaudiere, Kevin Lambert, Leon Bailey, Mikel Antonio, and Demarai Gray. That's the team I expect to start. Now, what would I like to see? I personally would like to see Casey Palmer being paired up with one of the defensive midfielders. I don't know that it's necessary for you to be so defensive, Jaime Algrimson, and have both Joel Latibeaudiere and Kevin Lambert. Because you already have Ethan Pinnock and Damian Lowe. You have Dexter Lembikisa and Amari Bell. And now you have Joel Latibeaudiere and Kevin Lambert. That's 6 defenders. That's more than half of the team are defenders. That's 2 defensive for me. You know what I mean? And then if you count the goalkeeper as a defender, it's 7. So now you only have 4 attacking players. Leon Bailey, Bobby Reid, Mikel Antonio, and Demarai Gray. 4 attackers, and then everybody else is a defender in some way. I think that you could, and I feel even awkward saying this because I love Kevin Lambert. He has done really, 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 really well. Gotten himself to Real Salt Lake and now playing in the Major League, playing Major League Soccer. But I think Hallgrimson could take out Lambert and play Casey Palmer if he is fit. Now, if if Palmer is not fit as yet, or you want to rest him and not start him, I'm not suggesting that you start him, but it would be nice for you to start with this team, because I'm sure that you're going to go with the two defensive midfielders because that's kind of how you play. But at least at some point in the game, if you could substitute out either Latibodere or Lambert and put in Casey Palmer, that would be nice to see what the team would look like having an attacking midfielder, because we're lacking that for sure. Now, the only reason why I think it's okay for you to go with, for Holgrimson to go with this team at this point, is because I don't really foresee us losing to Honduras like that. I mean, I hope I'm not wrong, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I don't really expect us to lose to Honduras. So even if he went ultra defensive like this, I still think Jamaica is capable of pulling out the win. But for bigger teams, or harder team, when you get to the quarterfinals of the Nations League, assuming Jamaica makes it to the quarterfinals, and you're playing teams like a Costa Rica, a Canada, a USA, and a Mexico, I think you're going to need an attacking midfielder. And now is the time to kind of try to blood him in. So that's what I think about that. All right, this video has gone a little long enough now, and I don't want to make it longer, but those are my thoughts on the game coming up this weekend, this Friday. Jamaica versus Honduras. Listen, if you're in Jamaica and you're listening to this video, please go out and support the Reggae Boys. I mean, please. It's 8 p.m. inside the National Stadium. Buy a ticket, go inside the National Stadium and cheer on this team. I would love to see a full stadium in Jamaica, and I wish the JFF could do something where they can allow people in the diaspora like myself to support people who wants to go to the game who might not, be able to. If there are ways that we can contribute to support the team, I wouldn't have a problem doing that. But for now, if you have the opportunity to go to the National Stadium and you are in Jamaica, please go and support this team. The team needs your support. Jamaica needs your support. We want to push this team and propel this team to do the best that they can, and ultimately to win the Nations League, qualify for the Copa America, qualify for the World Cup, and have an awesome Jamaica football program. All right, so I'm going to leave it there, everyone. Thank you for watching, and until next time, hit the like button on the way out, hit the subscribe button on the way out, and until next time, take care of yourself. I'm out.